guys, what's up? Today we're going to be talking about agriculture, and I'm going to be giving you a rundown of what you need to know about the effects of increased economic productivity as a result of the development of new farming technologies and practices so you can ace that AP exam. A bit of contextualization to be aware of. Before agriculture became common, nomadic groups relied on hunting and gathering. Therefore, communities were very small in order for them to be mobile. Once agriculture was adopted, the population and communities grew and became permanent settlements, establishing some of the first cities. The Neolithic era in 10,000 BCE, otherwise known as an agricultural revolution, is a relative timestamp for when nomadic-like practices were abandoned and humans transitioned to a farming lifestyle. This reform was perfect for river valley civilizations, such as in the Indus Valley, Nile, and Yellow River, because the surrounding land was highly fertile as a result of less. Alright, so we're starting off in good old China during the Tang Dynasty, who invaded Vietnam and discovered champa rice, a species of rice that ripens in less than 60 days. As they introduced this variety of rice to China, a food surplus was soon produced, because the rice cultivated faster, and later the Song Dynasty greatly benefited from this venture, if you will. Moving on to the other side of the globe in Mesoamerica, let's take a look at what the Aztecs were doing. The Aztecs formed the Chinampa field system, which utilized the marshy wetlands around Lake Texcoco, and they raked muck located at the bottom of the lakes into mounds to create fertile islands. They mainly grew vegetables such as squash and peppers, fruits such as tomatoes, and the king of all legumes, beans. Moving further down the continent of South America into the Andean areas. Here, the Wara system was born. Basically, it was the opposite of the Chinampa system, as farmers dug banks out of the soil to allow for the accumulation of water around high-raised beds of soil for irrigation to yield more crops. This method was particularly effective in this part of the hemisphere because of the arid climate. A popular technique used in both South America and East Asia was terracing. It took advantage of the steep hills and mountainous regions of these lands by sculpting it into ledges or flat stair-like rifts of land. Now let's continue on to the farmers in Western Europe. So here, farmers tended to plant crops using half of the amount of land that they had to avoid sucking out all of the nutrients and minerals in the soil that promoted healthy plants, thereby letting the remaining 50% of the land to refertilize and recover itself for the next season of cultivation. To a certain extent, this was successful. However, when the three-field system spawned, everything changed. Farmers using this method would now divide up their land into 3 parts, hence the name three-field system, and rotated one piece of land at a time, which theoretically increased the efficiency by 67%, roughly 17% better than before. Before either of these practices came to be, in other regions of the world, deforestation was an issue because cultivators would clear large plots of land designated for farming, and when it lost its touch, they moved on and continued to clear trees by the slash and burn technique. Other technologies also proved to be useful during this time. The production of iron plows and harnesses to attach to animals such as oxen were frequently used to increase production by speeding up the plowing process. A useful fact to know is that the Western Hemisphere did not have any domesticated animals as in the Eastern Hemisphere until maritime trade came to place in the Atlantic Ocean, where animals such as horses would be brought to the foreign lands of North and South America. It is quite clear that agricultural innovations gave farmers the power to evolve and better their farming productivity because they could more properly adapt to the fluctuations of weather and the constraints of their environment to maximize the efficiency of crop yield. However, higher amounts of cultivation can stress the environments and the land in which it's performed on, by depleting the soil of vital nutrients and from clearing trees negatively affect organisms living by. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope that this helps. And as always, thanks for watching.